Good evening. Good evening sa lahat. 1B.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Okay.
evening, sir.
I hope nakita nyo na ang video ng Chapter 3, Adjusting Journal Entries.
Yes po, sir.
Ha?
Yes po.
I have to admit, medyo nakakalito yon. Always remember the 4 basic adjusting journal entries. Prepaid expenses. These are expenses that you have paid in advance. Yung binayaran nyo na agad. Example, kunyari si Miss Et Cubanyas ay may parlor. Tapos si Marie Chris, presidente nyo, nagpunta sa parlor. Sabi ni Marie Chris kay Miss ano bang palayaw mo? Miss Et Cubanyas. How do I call you?
Et Cubanyas po, sir.
Hindi, haba masyado eh. Ano bang palayaw mo?
Richelle po, name ko.
Richelle. Kunyari si Richelle may parlor. Kasi ang ganda ng buhok niya, blonde. Tapos si Marie Chris, yung president, nagpunta sa kanya. Sabi ni Marie Chris, Richelle, ayusan mo ako ng, I'll give you 200 pesos. Ayusan mo ako sa isang linggo. So, prepaid expense yun ni Marie Chris. Because binayaran na niya, pero hindi pa naibibigay ni Richelle yung serbisyo. Pwedeng bawiin ni Marie Chris anytime. So, isasauli lang yun ni Richelle sa kanya. That is prepaid expenses. Expenses already paid but not yet incurred. Paid in advance. Okay. Ano naman yung pangalawa? Unearned revenue. Same example. This is for Marie Chris, for Richelle naman. Unearned revenue. Binayaran na siya, pero hindi pa niya naibibigay yung serbisyo. So, may utang siya kay Marie Chris. Malay mo, bukas magbago isip ni Marie Chris. Bawin, ayoko na pala. Okay na itong buhok ko. Balik mo na sa akin 200 ko. So, ang tawag doon ay unearned revenue. These are income or revenues that has already been received by Richelle, but not yet earned. Hindi pa niya kinikita yung revenue na yun. So that's the second. Third, accrued revenues naman. Example, same example, pero different scenario. Lumapit si Marie Chris. Richelle, ayusan mo ako ng buhok ngayon, pero sa isang linggo kita babayaran. Accrued revenues, kinita na ni Richelle, hindi pa nga lang siya binabayaran. Meron siyang accounts receivable kay Marie Chris. And the last one, the fourth one is accrued expenses. Same example, para naman ito kay Marie Chris. Accrued revenues are expenses already incurred but not yet paid. Inayusan na siya ngayon ni Richelle. Pero, hindi pa muna niya binayaran. Sa isang linggo na. So, may utang siya kay Richelle. So, huwag niyo kakalimutan yung 4 na yun, 4 basic. And the 5th one is depreciation. Different scenario naman yon, different accounting. As I explained in the video, I hope ulit-ulitin niyo yun kasi medyo nakakalitong adjusting journal entries. Marami niyan kayong masasalubong adjusting journal entries in your whole accounting life. alam nyo na ang dinidepreciate lang yung fixed assets. What are fixed assets? As I have also explained in that video, those are assets na may matagalang buhay. Pangmatagalan, katulad ng kotse, building, equipments, office equipment, factory equipments, kung ano man, at yan dinidepreciate. Ang accounting yan, you create a new account, credit accumulated depreciation. Ang tawag doon ay contra account or contra asset. Remember, lahat ng fixed assets ay nagdi-depreciate. Mapwera yung lupa, land. As I have given you an example, halimbawa yung isa'y tiga Darasa at ang isa'y tiga Balele, alam natin lahat na mas mataas ang presyo ng lupa sa Darasa because commercial, it's market driven, kesa sa Balele. Kaya sabi mo, sir, maglilipat ako ng lupa galing Darasa. Miski hakutin mo pa ang lahat ng lupa sa Darasa at ilipat mo sa Balele, hindi pa rin tataas ang value because of the market. So yung adjusting journal entry is very important. Pinadala ko rin yung video ng discussion ng assignment. Marami sa inyo. Lahat ng section, not following instruction. Malinaw, nalalagay sa subject matter, sa subject, pangalan at saka yung section. Marami hindi sumunod. Accounting, you follow instructions. You get the merits for that. Sorry na lang. You follow instruction. Okay? Now, the last chapter for chapter 4, I will not be discussing chapter 5. Kasi chapter 5 is more on sa computerized accounting because yan ay patungkol sa computerized accounting, and you will have a separate accounting subject when computerized accounting subject in your higher years as BSMA and BSA. So I'll not be discussing that. Term natin ay up to chapter 4. Kaya mag-aral. I will be giving to you midterm exam and you will send it back to me via email in a working paper or Excel. Very short ang time na ibibigay ko sa inyo. Kaya bilisan yan. Walang, sorry sir, hindi ako pwede. Sorry sir, may ginagawa ko. Napakaluwag ko ngayon. Kaya ito lang hinihiling ko. Pag exams and assignment, na paminsan-minsan lang ako nagbibigay ng assignment, ay dapat nasunod ng instruction. Again, follow instructions. Ha? I will probably give you the midterm exams this Saturday night, giving you probably 3 hours or 4 hours. Kita ko naman kung kailan nyo sinend. Kaya dapat alam nyo naman pag nag-exam, may time limit. Now, this chapter will complete the accounting cycle. Chapter 4. Now, what are we supposed to learn here? What is the flow of accounting information from the unadjusted to adjusted and to the financial accounting, financial statements? We will prepare financial statements from adjusted account balances. And we will also teach you how to close the entries. Kasi every end of the accounting period, you need to close your entries. Kasi kung December 31 ngayon, bukas, January 1, panibago ng accounting period yon. So you need to close all your accounts, all your nominal accounts or temporary accounts at the end of the accounting period. We will describe also the accounting cycle. Ano yung accounting cycle? Nasa libro yan. More in theory, sunod-sunod. And illustrate the accounting cycle for one period. Okay. I'll explain to you what is a fiscal year in a natural business and describing the working capital, the use of working capital, and the current ratio in evaluating a company's financial condition. Okay, I muted you, Mr. Oldan. All right. What's the flow of accounting information from unadjusted trial balance to the adjusted trial balance and the financial statement? Kita nyo naman to. Chapter 3 taught you the how to prepare the working papers from the unadjusted to the adjustment to the adjusting journal entries. And what goes to the balance sheet? The real accounts or permanent accounts, assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. And what goes to the statement of owner's equity? Of course, your capital and your drawing and your net income. And what goes to the income statement? Your temporary accounts or your nominal accounts, which are your revenues and expenses. Now, every end of the accounting period, you have to prepare a worksheet wherein you prepare the unadjusted trial balance. Alam nyo na yan. It was discussed in Chapter 3. These are account balances listed in the unadjusted trial balance column using the ending balances found in your general ledger. Then adjustments are entered here. I showed it to you in the solution of your assignment. Bibidyo rin yun. And syempre, extend na lang. What happens to the adjustment? Deferrals. Yung deferrals mo, yung existing balances are changed. Your accruals, yun na nga yung 4 na tinuro ko at saka yung depreciation. Adjusting entries. And then, you extend. You add the debits and you deduct the credits from the debits or the debits from the credits. And you come up with the adjusted trial balance. And then, extend uli, income statement, the revenue and expenses, balances in the from the adjusted trial balance column, and you extend it to the income statement. And then your assets, liabilities, and owner's equity and drawing balances in the balance sheet column. Kaya, how many columns will it have? 2 for the unadjusted, 2 for the adjustments, 2 for the adjusted, 2 for the income statement, and another 2 for balance sheet. Kaya 10-column worksheet ang gagawin nyo. Maswerte kayo. Excel na lang. Pero dun sa gusto ayaw mag-Excel, gustong maggawa ng working papers, bibili kayo ng 10-column worksheet. At kung gusto nyo, yun ang doon nyo gawin, ang midterm exam, pipicturean nyo, padadala nyo sa akin. However, mahigpit ako sa malinis na trabaho. Hindi pwedeng may erasures. Bawal sa akin ang may erasures. Kaya pag may erasures, may minus na sa akin. Okay. Of course, office equipment is an asset account. It is found, you extend it, or it is found in the balance sheet. Utilities expense is an income statement account. Accumulated depreciation is another balance sheet account. Unearned rent is a liability and it is found in the balance sheet account, balance sheet column. Fees earned are income statement account. Drawings, of course, it is a statement of owner's equity account. Rent revenue are income statement and supplies are balance sheet account. Now, what then do you prepare? How do you then prepare a financial statement from the adjusted account balances? The income statement is prepared directly from the income statement or adjusted trial balance column of the end of period spreadsheet, beginning with the fees earned of 16,840. Alin yan? Yan yung kay Net Solution. 16,840. As of December 31 na, remember yung ating chapter 3 ended with December 31. Kaya nagkaroon na tayo ng adjustments. Net income niya ay 7,000. Pupunta yon sa owner's equity. Naituro ko na sa inyo ito in chapter 2 na magkakamag-anak yan. It's correlated. Income statement. Your income should also be found in the owner's equity. Yan. Remember the presentation, ha? Ganyan lang ang presentation kung gusto makita. May heading. Sinasabi kung ano yon at kung kailan yon. And this is how you should present it. Same is true with your owner's equity. This is how you should present it. And your balance for your ending capital should go to the balance sheet. Yan. Again, this is how you should present it. Dilikdangan ko na ito kasi makikita nyo naman ito sa inyong libro. Okay. What is a classified then? What is a classified balance sheet? This one is what we call a classified balance sheet because you classified the current assets from the other assets or property, plant, and equipment. It's a balance sheet that was expanded by adding subsection for current assets, property, plant, and equipment, current liabilities, and long-term liabilities. Nagkataon, si Net Solution, walang long-term liability. Kaya current liabilities lang. Pero, meron siyang current assets and property, plant, and equipment. Alam niyo na kung anong current assets. Those are assets that are and can be converted into cash within 1 year. Now, kung ano naman yung long property, plant, and equipment? These are equipments or assets, resources that you use for a long time na magagamit nyo ng matagal. Oops. Like land, of course, matagal. Office equipment, pangmatagalan. Cars, trucks, delivery equipments, building, pangmatagalan. Yan. So, yan ang classified balance sheet. You separate the current assets from your property, plant, and equipment and other assets. Later on in your as we move forward, may matututunan kayong mga other assets. Hindi muna ngayon. What are current assets? Cash and other assets that are expected to be converted into cash, sold, or used up within 1 year. Yun ang current assets. Cash and other assets na pwede mong gamitin, magagamit mo, pwede mong gawing cash or pwede mong ibenta through the normal operation of the business. within 1 year. So, syempre, cash. Accounts receivable. Notes receivable. Depende yung notes receivable. Kasi usually, notes receivable, utang yun sa bangko. The short-term portion should be classified as current asset. Pero kung ang utang mo is payable within 5 years, yung long-term portion should be classified otherwise as long-term asset. Supplies can be used up within 1 year. Yan. What are notes receivables? These are written promises. Oras na gumawa ka ng promissory note, hindi na accounts receivable yon. Notes payable na yon. Usually, may interest yun, agreed rate. Siguro naman, alam nyo mag-compute ng interest. Napag-aralan yan sa modern math no high school. How do you compute for the interest? Anybody? Huh? How do you compute for the interest? Hello. Di ba? Kayo naman oh. Ano? Merong magsasalta? I is equals to what? PRT. Napag-aralan ba yan nung high school?
Opo.
I is equals to PRT. P is what?
Principal.
Principal. R is what?
Rate po.
Rate. And T is
Time.
time. Very good. Hihimik. Para kayo hindi sigurado sa sarili. So, interest is equals to principal times rate times time. Okay. Ano pa po yan? All right. So, if, excuse me, you have, excuse me, if you have issued a promissory note, it usually comes, it is now called a notes receivable by the one whom you issued a promissory note. And usually, merong interest yun and agreed rate and agreed time. So, pag ordinary receivable, accounts receivable. Pag trade receivables, halimbawa nagpautang ka sa customer, accounts receivable yon. Pero oras na ang customer mo ay nag-issue na sa iyo ng promissory note at you agreed, notes receivable ng tawag. Property, plant, and equipments are also called fixed assets or plant assets. These are depreciated over a period of time, of course, except for land, as it is not subject to depreciation. Katulad nga na nasabi ko na, ang land ay hindi nagdi-depreciate, nag-appreciate siya. But these are the properties, plant, and equipment na dapat mong i-depreciate. Equipment, machineries, buildings, land hindi. Land hindi, ha? Now, liabilities that will be due within a short time, with usually 1 year or less, are called current liabilities. Usually, binabayaran mo agad within 1 year. Current liabilities. Usually yan, accounts payable, wages payable, interest payable, unearned fees, and so on. Liabilities not due for a long time, usually more than a year, are called long-term liabilities. long-term notes payable, mortgage payable, yun nga mga utang sa bangko. Mortgage payable, meron kang isinangla. Bonds payable, if you are authorized to issue bonds. Okay? And of course, owner's equity are your rights to the assets of the business. Owner's equity is added to the total liabilities and this total must equal the total assets. Alam nyo na yan. A is equals to L plus C. Alright. So, ito nasa libro rito. Now, after yung magawa lahat ng transaction, after nyo magawa yung 10-column worksheet, dumating na ang December 31. End of the accounting period na. Bukas, January 1. Panibago ng, excuse me, sandali ha. Panibago ng accounting period ang January 1, 2022. Kasi natapos na ang accounting period noong December 31, 2021. You need to close your entries. There are 4 basic closing entries. Tuturo natin yan. Napakadaling tandaan ng closing entries. Kaya hindi kayo dapat malito. Okay. Ano-ano yan? Accounts that are relatively permanent from year to year are called permanent accounts or real accounts. These accounts are carried forward from year to year. So, bukas January 1, yung accounts na permanent or real accounts are carried forward as your beginning balance for your new accounting period. And what are these? Mamaya, temporary accounts naman are not carried forward because they relate to only one period. Okay? To report amounts for only one period, temporary accounts should have 0 balances at the beginning of the next period. Ano yun? So, tatandaan. Permanent accounts are carried forward from year to year. These are assets, liabilities, and capital. O, tandaan nyo, yung cash mo sa bangko, as of December 31, yung pa rin ang cash mo sa bangko noong January 1. Same is true with your liabilities. Yung liabilities mo noong December 31, yung utang mo noong December 31, ay yun pa rin ang utang mo sa January 1. Kaya hindi yun ikino-close. So, in short, hindi kino-close ang assets, liabilities, and capital accounts. So what then do you close at the end of the accounting period? You close your temporary accounts or your nominal accounts. Nung araw kasi tawag nominal accounts. Ngayon tawag na temporary accounts. Because they relate to only one period. What are those? Revenues and expenses. Kasi yung revenues mo from January 1 to December 31, 2021 ay yun din ay dapat iba na sa revenue mo mula bukas January 1, 2022. Same is true with your expenses. Yung expenses mo ng January 1, 2021 to December 31, 2021 ay iba na sa expenses mo mula January 1, 2022. That is why you need to close your temporary accounts at the end of your accounting period. And these are your revenues and expenses. Dapat 0 balance sila at the start of your new accounting period. So you close only revenue and expenses account. At meron kayong isang bagong account na gagamitin, income summary account at the end of the period. Yung account na yan, income summary account, ay ginagamit lang minsan tuwing katapusan lamang ng taon or katapusan lang ng accounting period. Kasi yan ang tinatawag nating clearing account. Diyan nyo i-clear, diyan nyo isasara ang revenue, expenses nyo. Ito, number
Sir,
1. Yes.
pwede po magtanong.
Go!
Sir, yung income summary po ba is yearly lang po magagamit or pwede po siyang mag-monthly na ginagagamitin po?
So it all depends, Iha, kung kailan yung account end of your accounting period. Kung buwan-buwan ay nagsasara ka ng account, gagamitin mo siya. Pero normally, sa isang negosyo, at yun din ang sinusunod ng BIR, isang taon ng isang accounting period. That is why si Net Solutions, December 31, magko-close na siya ng accounting period. So remember, yung income summary account ay ginagamit lang tuwing magsasara ng libro. Okay. So anong una-una? The balance of the income summary, net income and net loss is then transferred to the owner's capital account. So pagkasara mo ng revenue sa income summary at pagkasara mo ng expenses sa income summary, meron yung balanse. Ang magiging balanse ng income summary mo is either your net income or your net loss. It is then transferred to the owner's capital para maisara mo naman ang income summary na yon na minsan mo lang nga gagamitin. End of the accounting period. And of course, the balance of your drawing account is also transferred to the owner's capital. Isasara mo na rin yung drawing account mo. Di ba normal balance nun ay debit? So i-credit mo siya para mag-close ang drawing account mo at the end of the accounting period by debiting your capital account. These are what we call closing entries. So, una-una, number 1, rev close all tatandaan nyo to. Ito yung 4 na ito. Close all revenues to the income summary account. So, ano normal balance ng revenue? Credit, di ba? So, i-debit mo ang lahat ng revenues. Fees earned, interest income, rent revenue. So, debit para ma-close. Ano ang kontra nyo? Credit, income summary. So, close na ang revenue. Iko-close mo naman ngayon expenses. Ano normal balance na expenses? Debit. So, iko-close mo yung daming-daming expenses, credit expenses, and debit income summary. So, pagbabanggain mo ngayon yon sa ledger na income summary, yung dalawang yon, may balance yon. Kung magkano ang diferensya, yun ang iyong net income or your net loss. It is then transferred kung ang natira ay debit. Ibig sabihin, net loss ka. I-credit mo ang income statement, income summary sa balance sa owner's capital and you debit your owner's capital, meaning nabawasan ang iyong kapital. Kung ang natira naman sa income summary ay credit, ide-debit mo siya, debit income summary, credit owner's capital. Ibig sabihin, nag-net income ka. And the last entry is credit your drawing to your capital account. So debit capital, credit drawing para ma-close ang iyong drawing account. Okay? Income summary is a temporary account that is only used during the closing process. Minsan 1 taon lang yan ginagamit. At the end of the closing process, the income summary account will have 0. Pagkagamit mo sa kanya close din 0 uli siya. Kasi isiniro mo siya sa balance sheet. Sa iyong capital account. Yun na nga. Income summary is sometimes called clearing account. I call it dumping account. Yun na natutunan ko nung college ako. Kasi you dump everything. Itinatapon mo lahat doon. Yung revenue, tinatapon mo lahat doon ng iyong expenses para ma-close. But the real term is clearing account. Nung araw, nung panahon namin, dumping account ang tawag yan. Yan. Nasa libre to. So, yung balance, si Net Solutions to. Kita nyo naman ang net income niya, 7,105. Hindi, wait. Yung kanyang number 1, fees earned, i-debit, credit income summary. Yung expenses, total expenses, ay ikinredit mo dito at i-debit mo naman sa income summary. Ano natira? Mas malaki ang credit kaysa debit, meaning net income si Net Solutions. So yung balance, the balance of the income summary ay i-debit mo and at the same time, i-credit mo naman sa capital. And the last one is debit the capital account for the balance of the drawing account and credit the drawing account. Summarize natin. What are the 4 closing entries? Close all revenue accounts to the income summary. Number 2, close all expenses to your income summary. Third, close the balance of the income summary to your capital account. And then number 4, close your drawing account to your capital account. Pagkatapos niyan, ang matitira na lang ay yung real accounts mo or your permanent accounts, which is your assets, liabilities, and your capital, which will be your beginning balance bukas January 1, 2021. Yun. Siyempre, i-journalize mo yan. Yan ang journal entry ng closing entries. 4. Debit all revenues, credit to income summary. Debit income summary, credit all expenses. Debit the balance of your income summary to your capital. And close the drawing to your capital. Yan ang closing entries ni Net Solutions. Again, nasa libro yan. Kung dadaan-daanan nyo ulit, at kasabay ng video na to, ay madaling maintindihan. Yun. This is step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. After the closing entries are post, yes.
Sir, medyo nalilito lang po ako dun sa yung post reference po. Saan po yun nanggaling? Sorry po, sir.
Nasa video. Tinuro ko yon. Yung 41 posting reference is from the account name. Kung babalikan mo ang chapter 3. Hanahanap ko lang yung page. Chapter 3, page 142. Exhibit 6. Yan ang account number ng mga accounts na yan. So fees earned is 41. Rent revenue is 42. Nakita, balikan mo.
Yes, sir. Okay na po. Thank you po, sir.
All right. Yan ang gusto ko nagtatanong. After closing entries are posted, all of the temporary accounts have zero balances. At yan, zero na. So kita nyo, mapwera yung cash, yung permanent accounts natin. So ang bukas na lang, yung cash, land, office equipment, accumulated depreciation, accounts receivable, supplies, accounts payable, wages payable, unearned rent. Kung babalik-balikan nyo ito, tuloy-tuloy nga. Kaya si Net Solutions nga is a continuing problem. Prepaid insurance, drawing, sarado na yan. Kinlose natin. Capital account ay nagbago kasi ipinasok natin yung net income at ipinasok din natin yung drawing. Rent expense, sarado na rin. Income summary, ito yung sarado na rin kasi ikinlose nga natin sa capital account. Fees earned, sarado na rin. Sarado na rin ang depreciation expense. Sarado na rin ang utilities expense. Sarado na all other expenses. This sample exercise ay yung example of a closing. Balikan nyo ito sa libro. Now, anong pang number 11, number 12? Ang number 11, number 12 sa column ha? Di ba sabi ko 10 columns lang? Ang dadagdag nyo pa, number 11, number 12, ay di yung closing entries. At ang number 13, number 14 ay yung post-closing trial balance. It is now prepared after the closing entries have been posted. The purpose of the post-closing trial balance, again, is to verify that the ledger is in balance. Para mag-verify lang. So kung titingnan nyo, 14 na column yan. First two columns, unadjusted trial balance. Second two columns, column 3, column 4, ay adjustment. Column 5, column 6, the adjusted balance, trial balance. Column 7, column 8 is the income statement column. Column 9, column 10, balance sheet. Column 11, column 12, closing entries. And column 13, column 14 ay yung post-closing trial balance. Post-closing, after you close the trial balance. Yan yun. Yan na lang ang natira kasi sinara na natin lahat ang temporary accounts niya. So ito naman ang magiging beginning balance. Ito ang magiging beginning balance ni Net Solutions sa January 1, 2012. So panibagong accounting na uli yan. So that's the end of the cycle. Ano-ano ba yung cycle na yan? Accounting process that begins with analyzing and journalizing that and ending in the preparing the accounting records for the next period's transaction is called the accounting cycle. There are 10 steps. Balikan lang natin. Pero naituro ko ng lahat ito. Transactions are analyzed and recorded in the journal. Remember, ang billing ko sa inyo, kung uubos kayo ng 1 minuto sa isang transaction, ubusin nyo ang 50 seconds sa pag-a-analyze. Kasi itong 10 steps na ito, 10 steps na ito, pag mali kayo sa number 1, mali na kayo tsak hanggang dulo. Remember that. Then transactions are posted to the ledger. Unadjusted balance is prepared. adjustment data are assembled and analyzed. Siyempre, a-analyze mo pa rin ano yung 5 adjusting journal entries kasama ang depreciation. And working papers. Gawa kayo ng working papers. Although it is optional, it is a requirement for you to check kung tama at balansyado ang iyong mga ginawa. Adjusting entries are journalized and posted to the ledger. Siyempre, yung adjusting entries mo, ipopost mo sa ledger. Adjusted trial balance is prepared. Financial statements are prepared. Closing entries are journalized and posted to the ledger. Number 10, preparation of the post-closing trial balance. Yung post-closing trial balance mo will be your beginning balance for the next accounting period. So tatandaan niyo yan, sunod-sunod na yan. And remember, ulit-ulitin ko. Doon sa unang-una, transactions are analyzed. Dapat tama. Or else, mali kayo hanggang dito sa dulo. Yan yun. Meron yan sa libro. As exhibit A.
Sir,
Yes.
tatanong po ulit.
Go!
Sir, doon po sa post-closing trial balance, saan po nanggaling yung mga debit balances po at saka yung credit balances po? Doon po sa past po na ano. Di ba po after po yung post-closing trial balance?
Oh, di ba? Di ba nag-close tayo? Ito ang ginawa natin, di ba? Nag-closing tayo, di ba? Closing entries. Di ba? Kinlose natin yung revenue sa income summary. Lahat ng revenue. I-kinlose natin lahat ng expenses sa income summary. I-kinlose natin ang income summary sa capital. And then, i-close natin yung drawing sa capital. So, pag pinost mo ito sa ledgers, ito makikita mo. Cash, hindi mo in-adjust. Hindi mo naman kinlose ang cash. Hindi mo rin kinlose ang land. Di ba? At tinan mo mga kinlose natin. Revenue and expenses lamang. And drawing.
Shanghai daw.
Ano Shanghai? Yun ang ulam nyo? Penge. Hindi mo kinlose ang office equipment. Hindi mo rin kinlose ang accumulated depreciation. And all the other as real accounts or permanent accounts like liabilities and capital. Pero kinlose mo ang rent expense, zero, di ba? Yan ang zero. So ano natira? Ang natira ay yan. Yan ang iyong post-closing. Ang ibig sabihin ng post-closing, post, after, closing. After mo i-close ang iyong mga accounts, yan ang trial balance mo. Which will be your beginning balance sa January 1, 2012 ni Net Solution.
Sir, ayun po ba yung ano, yung natira?
Yes. Natira. Di ba ang cash mo nung December 31, bukas January 1, yun pa rin ang cash mo?
Apo.
Hindi naman nabawasan. So hindi mo
Apo.
kinlose yun. Yung pautang mo, yung accounts receivable mo nung December 31, bukas January 1, ganun pa rin karami yung pautang. Yung lupa mo nung December 31, yung pa rin ang lupa mo ng January 1. Same is true with your payable, accounts payable. Yung utang mo noong December 31, yung pa rin ang utang mo bukas January 1. Kaya itong beginning balance mo sa 2012 ni Net Solutions. January 1.
Eh sir, yung ano, yung revenues po.
Kinlose mo nga, di ba?
Apo.
Ito
Apo.
yung kinlose mo. Ay. Yan o, kinlose mo sa closing. Kaya nga may closing entries. Yan. Di ba? Okay na.
Yes, sir. Thank you po, sir.
Tunay ha? Tunay na okay ha? Sino ka ba?
Opo. Chidoro, sir.
Teodoro. Sige. So ito na ang beginning balance ni Net Solutions ng January 1, 2012. Remember that. Now, counting cycle nga, 10 steps. As I have told you, kailangan tama from the start. Yan. Meron yung illustrative exhibits eh. Yan. Which you will see in your book. So, accounting cycle for one period, journal, entries. Iba na ito, hindi ito si ano ha. Hindi ito si Net Solutions. Another example to. So, Exhibit 9 ng libro, makikita nyo si Kelly's. Nasa page 202. So, Exhibit 9. Kita nyo si Kelly's. Posting transactions to the analyzing and recording. Basahin niyo kasi yung libro ha. Hindi pwedeng asakay dito sa video. Lalong-lalo na itong kay Kelly's na ito. Hindi kayo pwedeng umasa lamang sa video na ito. You need to read the book at yan ang pinakita yung accounting cycle giving you another example, si Kelly's. So yan ang working papers niya. Hanggang adjusted trial balance pa lang yan. Nag-adjust uli. Yun yung mga adjustment. Nag-prepare ng income statement, owner's equity, balance sheet, and ito yung closing entries ni Kelly's. Very comprehensive itong Kelly's na ito sa libro. Well explained. Basahin nyo lang. And ito yung post-closing trial balance niya. Ito rin yung ledger. Nasa libro rin yan. Pinakita rin dyan yung closing niya, closing entries, kung paano ipinasok. Now, ano ba yung fiscal year? Simple lang to, mabilis. Annual accounting period adopted by the business is known as fiscal year. Kung January 1 nag-umpisa ang business mo, ang accounting period mo, ang end noon December 31. Kung nag-umpisa ng July 1, 2021, ang ending noon ay June 30, 2022. So, ano yung natural business? Natural business in January 1 to December 31. All others, nag-umpisa ng July 1, nag-umpisa ng December 1, ay fiscal year ang tawag doon. Pero yung natural business year starts on January 1. Yun lang ang diferensya. Natural business year start ng January 1 and ends on December 31. Ang fiscal year starts any other dates. July 1, nag-umpisa, natapos siya June 30 the following year. Basta isang taon na isang taon. Yun ang year, fiscal year or natural year. Now, this is another computation. This is also how you compute. Sorry kanina pa ako nagsasalita. Time out. This is another way of helping you out in evaluating your financial condition by computing for your working capital and your current ratio. Importante sa isang negosyo, yung meron kang cash, biglaan, pambayad ng utang, karaka-raka, ang tawag dyan liquidity. Kumikita ka nga at hindi ka naman liquid, ay hindi tatakbo ng husay negosyo. Sir, paano nangyayari yun? Kumikita naman tapos sasabihin mo hindi liquid. Paano kung nasa pautang lahat ng iyong kinita? Tuloy naman ikaw ng pagpapasweldo sa tao. So mauubos ang cash mo. Hindi ka na magiging liquid. Kung lahat ng iyong kita, service income mo, fees earned mo, ay nasa accounts receivable, mauubos nga ang cash mo kasi hindi ka nakakapangkolekta. So mawawala yung liquidity. And your ability to pay your debt is called solvency. Solvent ka. Hindi yan yung solvent na hinihit-hit ha. And working capital is the excess of the current assets. Tatandaan yung formula. Current assets over its current liabilities. So, katulad ni Net Solution, balikan natin? Anong kanyang working capital at the end of the accounting period? Balikan natin ng mabilis. Layo. Yan. Ano ang working capital niya? So, current assets minus current liabilities. Hindi siyempre kasama ang land and office equipment kasi hindi yun current liability, current assets. Siyempre, kasama rin accounts payable, wages payable, and unearned rent. Yan are current liabilities yan. So, how then do you compute for the working capital? Paano nakuha yung 6,355? Current assets minus current liabilities. Balikan niyo yan. Balikan niyo yung kanyang post-closing trial balance. 7,745 ang total current assets niya at ang current liabilities niya ay 1,390. So, ang working capital niya ay 6,355. Ang ideal na working capital ay 2:1. Meron kang 2 piso sa bawat piso mong utang. So obviously, very good ang working capital ni Net Solution kasi meron siyang mahigit na 2 piso sa kanyang utang. And how did you compute that? By computing the current ratio. Current assets over current liabilities. So current 7,745 over 1,390 is equals to 5.6. Meaning to say, si Net Solution ay may $5.6 sa bawat $1 niyang utang. Very liquid siya. Very solvent siya. So wala siyang problema. Eto, giving you an example. Fortune Company. Mabilis tong video natin ito. 1 oras lang tayo mahigit. Ang current assets ni Fortune noong 2012 ay 310,500. Noong 2011, 262,500. Obviously, mas malaki ang kanyang current assets noong 2012 kesa sa noong 2011. Ang current liabilities niya noong 2012 ay 172,500 at noong 2011 ay 150,000. So computing for the current ratio, noong 2012 Ang current ratio niya is 1.8 compared to 2011 na 1.75. Ibig sabihin, mas maganda noong 2012 kesa sa noong 2011 sapagkat meron siyang $1.80 na pampuno sa bawat $1 niyang utang. Compared sa 2011 na meron siyang $1.75 lang sa bawat $1 niyang utang. Pero hindi pa rin maganda yan kung tutusin mo. Sapagkat sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, ang ideal ay 2:1. Meron kang $2 or 2 pesos sa bawat 1 peso mong utang. Hindi pa rin very ideal yan. Although, comparing it, ay makikita nyo na mas maganda yung 2012 kaysa 2011. Okay. Ito yung kay Net Solutions. In-adjust. Insurance expense. Rent revenue. Ito yung kinita niya sa isang buwan for December. Naging rent revenue. Ito yung earned but not yet received. Debit accounts receivable. Credit fees earned. Ito yung 250 niyang utang noong December. Yung 2 araw, kung tatandaan nyo, 250. Credit wages payable. And depreciation of 50. Debit depreciation expense. Credit accumulated depreciation. Summaries rule. Pansin nyo, the double line lagi sa ilalim. Ganun ako lagi. Turo ko sa inyo. To show that your adjusting journal entries is balanced. Extend. In extend, this plus this equals this. This minus this equals this. Tinuro ko ito. Ito yung ating assignment. Hindi sinet solution. But ganitong ating assignment, which I showed in the video. And the solutions, nasa inyo na rin. And extend to, so ito na ngayon, hanggang adjusted. Extend sa balance income statement and sa balance sheet. Total of 4 column. Hindi pa yung babalanse. Kasi ang balancing figure mo dyan ay yung net income or your net loss ni Net Solutions. Pag naiba ang balancing figure nyo, may mali kayo. Hindi pwede mangyari yun. Kailangan yung balancing figure ng income statement at yung balancing figure ng balance sheet ay pareho. Yun. Tapos na. Tapos, closing na yon. Ang ating midterm ay hanggang dyan. Kaya, ang pag-aaralan nyo, i-upload ko na rin to hanggang mamaya. Siguro hanggang bukas pag na-save. Para mapama-review nyo na rin ulit. Nahihirapan kasi ako sa Moodle. Any question?
Sir, hanggang post-trial balance po yung exam.
Basta hanggang chapter 4. Madali lang. Katulad nga sinasabi ko sa inyo, hindi ako very particular sa perfectong gawa. Kung makikita ko na yung proseso yung sinunod nyo, ginawa nyo, nang kayo lang gumawa, ay binibigyan ko kayo ng credit. Pero wag na lang kayo magpasahan kasi kayo rin ang mahihirapan sa finance. Kayo rin ang mahihirapan sa higher accounting. Kasi baka sa finals nyo ay face-to-face tayo. Hindi kayo pwede magpasahan. So, halimbawa man sa finals ay face-to-face, gagamit na kayo ng working papers doon, hindi na Excel. Kasi sasabit nyo sa akin tong araw na yun din. Kaya maigi na alam nyo ang proseso. Alam nyo kung ano nangyayari, paano gagawin. Yung accounting cycle. Napaka-importante alam nyo yung proseso na yan. Oras na alam nyo yun, nadaanan naman natin lahat, ay hindi kayo mahihirapan. Kaya sinasabi ko, very important na may libro. Okay?
Sir.
Yes.
Ano pong components ng midterm exam po? Puro po computation, sir.
Puro problems. Hindi ako nagbibigay ng true or false. Hindi rin ako nagbibigay ng multiple choice. Balay nyo, isang problem lang o dalawang problem lang. Old school ako eh. Hinahasa ko yung estudyante ko sa paggawa ng problem na yun ang masasalubong nyo sa tunay na buhay. Kaya dapat kabisado nyo ang accounting cycle, yung huli natin pinag-aralan. Kabisado nyo. Malay nyo mag-umpisa from top to bottom tayo. Di ba? Mr. Landicho, okay ba?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. So, labasan tayo ng video, picturean tayo.
Sir, excuse po.
Yes, Miss Librado.
Ano po, di ba po Sabado po ibibigay yung midterm? Gabi po ba? Ay,
Oo.
anong oras po?
Iniisip ko pa. Siguro, alas 5, tapos submitted dapat ng alas 8. Kita ko naman sa email kung kailan nyo sinubmit. Pag nahuli doon, sorry.
Sige po, thank you po.
Paminsan-minsan lang ako mag-higpit. Napakaluwag ko naman sa inyo. Ha? Pero paghandaan nyo yung finals. Kasi ang finals, malamang sa face-to-face tayo. Pero hindi sabay-sabay. Ang daming bakanting room sa TCC. Kaya kayo ay pwedeng sabay-sabay. Lahat ng room. By the way, sino pa ang walang bakuna?
Opo, sir.
Sir,
Oo,
ako-
sir.
Okay.
Marami po.
Kailangan nyo i-submit. Meet ko contact sa inyo. Sinagot nyo ba yung survey?
Yes po.
yes po.
Opo, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Isa sa mga requirements ng CHED ay bago tayo makapag-umpisa ng face-to-face, ay kailangan sana ay may bakuna. Hindi naman kayo pipilitin kung ayaw nyo kasi voluntaryo yan. Sabi ng batas, sabi ng gobyerno, hindi kayo pipilitin. Pero para sa akin, magaling nang meron. Ako meron. Ang asawa ko nag-positive. May bakuna. Hindi siya. Yung bunso kong anak, may bakuna rin. Nag-positive din. Baliwala. Pero decision nyo pa rin yan. Sinong below 18? Meron pa bang below 18?
Ako po, sir.
Sila sir na lang po.
Ha? Lacerna Angel. Below 18. Yung mga below 18 talagang definitely hindi pa pwede. So 18 and above ang babakunahan. Nakipag-arrange na kami sa City Health na bigyan prioridad ang mga estudyante ng City College para mabakunahan. Yung gusto, hindi ito pinipili. Kasi kung ikaw, halimbawa, katulad ni Angel Lacerna. Angel ba, babae, lalaki? Patingin nga na yung facial.
Babae po.
Babae. Kasi may Angel na lalaki. Syempre, hindi ka mapapakunan below 18. Ay hindi ka pwedeng makipag face-to-face sa amin. Si Miss Teresa Malinaw, below 18 ka pa rin?
Po, sir. Hindi po. Nakalimutan ko lang pong i-lower.
Okay. So, kailan ka mag-18, Miss Lacerna?
December pa po.
Nako hindi pwede iha. Tatanong ko rin. Again, hindi kayo pinipilit at hindi kayo pipilitin sapagkat voluntaryo ang bakuna. Pero para sa akin, sana magpabakuna kayo. Protection nyo, protection ng pamilya nyo, at protection ng mga kasamahan nyo, mga kaklase. So, yung hindi pa nakakasagot ng survey, ay sumagot kayo ng survey ng City College ng bakuna kasi kailangan yon, hinihingi ng CHED. Hindi tayo bibigyan ng permiso na mag face-to-face na kung wala nung listahan ng kung sino may bakuna at wala. Okay? So, picture tayo to screen tayo. Labasan na tayo ng mga ating kabidyuhan. Miss Brinyas, ang ating attendance, ha? O Rochelle, show your face. Si Mark Landicho, ang ganda ng posing mo, nakaganon ka pa, ha? Okay.
Confirm.
Alright. Si Miss Oropesa. Si Bendo. Miss Brinyas, ang attendance natin, ha? Okay. Yung hindi pa magbukas, okay lang. Kung hindi kayo makabukas. Smile. Tagalan nyo yung smile kasi 2 pages tayo. First page. And second page. All right. I will try to upload this as soon as I can. And be ready for the midterm this weekend. Okay? Good night, everyone. Stay safe.
Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Po.
Sir.